Located at Drayton Manor in Staffordshire, England, was G-Force, a steel roller coaster designed by Maurer Rides as the first X-Car roller coaster. The new train design could offer longer upside-down times without the need for over-the-shoulder restraints, as well as featuring the odd Humpty Bump lift. While G-Force would open at the park in 2005, just 13 years later, in October 2018, it would be closed forever.
Fun, fun, fun at Drayton Manor Park, it's here for you. Fun, 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 everything to see and do.
It's a great day out for all the family. Drayton Manor Park and Zoo. There really is something for everyone. Fabulous rides, the zoo, and lots more. Plenty to see, plenty to do, and it's
Fun, fun, fun.
The story of Drayton Manor's early years is somewhat reminiscent of Alton Towers. Located in Tamworth, Staffordshire, about 1 hour south of Alton, the land once belonged to the Peel family. Originally known as the Peel Estate, 5 generations owned the site from 1790 to 1926, one of which was Sir Robert Peel, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1834. Fun fact, he created the Metropolitan Police Force, and it is where the term for police, Bobby, came from. By 1926, the estate had been sold and the manor house reduced to rubble, with little remaining. In 1931, the land was once again bought and turned into a pleasure grounds, with 2 lakes, gardens, and a cafe. Just like Alton Towers, during the Second World War, the British Army requisitioned the land as a training post for the next 5 years. In 1949, George and Vera Bryan paid £6,000 for the land, along with the huts left by the army. They opened a small amusement park in 1950 with just a few children's rides known as Drayton Manor Park. Over the years, the park would continue to grow, and from the 1980s, the park would begin adding larger attractions to become the UK's 5th most popular theme park. One of the rides added in 1984 was the Python, or later the Klondike Gold Mine, a small Pinfari roller coaster that had one inversion. It was removed in 1994 to make way for a bigger attraction and moved to Funland Amusement Park, where it operated for 10 years.
Didn't we have a lovely time the day we went to Drayton? The park and the zoo with so much to do, and all the rides are so much fun.
For over 10 years, Maurer Rides in Munich have been creating roller coasters, some of which included Spinball Whizzer at Alton Towers, Winger at Phantasialand, and the Rat at Loudon Castle. Many of the manufacturer's rides were located in Europe, either a Wild Mouse or spinning coaster. At IAAPA in 2003, Maurer revealed the prototype of the brand new X-Car, the heart of which would be the X-Seat. This seat, developed together with the Institute for Ergonomics in Munich, Germany, would have a unique restraint system which would be able to withstand forces of more than -1 G for sustained periods with only a lap bar. The restraint is pivoted down from the side and secured using a pneumatic spring. The larger surface area of the restraint was designed to make being upside down more comfortable. The trains can be used as a single car or as a combined train, giving them more flex in the designs of tracks, allowing them to range from family-style coasters to full thrill rides full of inversions, and allowing the use of special elements such as an inverted camelback, which a normal roller coaster train just could not get through.
With all their comfort and freedom of movement, X-Cars are safe too. The seat design, the safety bar and the car have been continuously and exhaustively tested, and not just by third-party experts, but acrobatically too. The result is that the X-Seat is optimally adapted to the human anatomy.
The cars were also much shorter than most of the time, with just 6 seats. Maurer aimed to show the big theme parks that their small, agile cars could offer more thrills than a huge giga coaster.
Is this all about reinventing the wheel or the track? It's about neither. The rider's seat is the key to this totally new roller coaster experience.
The first park to use the prototype system was Skyline Park in Germany, with the opening of Skywheel, a 150-foot high Skyloop model, a large oval featuring the first use of the Humpty Bump lift that initiates a vertical chain lift hill into the first inversion, a descent with a heartline roll that leads back to the station, somewhat similar to Premier's Skyrocket coasters without the launch. The prototype Skywheel and future coasters of the style were built as a coaster that could be extended, and the Skywheel had plans to add more track in 2007 if the ride was a hit. It never did happen though. The second version to use the X-Car, and the first to be named the X-Car model, will be opening in 2005 at Drayton Manor. The ride was originally called Project X, but was later changed to G-Force. The ride would reach 82 feet high and speeds of 43 miles per hour on the 1,263 feet of track.
An ultra-compact ride. More airborne figures, faster change of direction, extreme challenges. Challenges which inspire the engineers' flights of fancy at Maurersen.
On paper, it might not sound very impressive, but the unique ride would pack quite a lot into its small frame. 3 inversions, bank turns, and a camelback, while retaining a modified, smaller Humpty Bump lift. G-Force was an unusual coaster in most aspects. While most of the park's thrill rides were themed to the forces of nature, such as Stormforce 10, Maelstrom, or Shockwave, this new ride with its red track marked a change for the park due to the modern design of the trains. The park stated that with the new millennium came new ideas, and they wanted to stick it out. Inside, guests waiting were entertained by abstract video projections and techno music, specifically composed for the ride. Every 7.5 minutes, an electric arc discharged between 2 rings in the ceiling, giving a Tesla-like effect, which most people mostly found annoying. It stopped working after some time. Before entering the station, which again was chosen to complement the unique X-Car trains, or I guess a perfect way to describe it is an unthemed silver shed.
Only 25 meters in height were allowed in Drayton Manor, enough to make the 385 meters of coaster track into a thrilling roller coaster event, while the track itself is easily extendable.
The trains would swiftly move into the station for riders to board. As the trains exit the station, the friction wheels pushed it directly into a left curve with a small drop into the Humpty Bump lift, this time looking like some kind of weird vertical loop. The Beyond Vertical lift suspends riders upside down as it begins its descent. This chain actually features a second chain to reverse the train back down if a power failure was to occur. Remember this fact for the next expedition. This unique, I guess you can call it drop, then accelerates the train towards the ground and glides into a horizontal position at the bottom, completing the first inversion. The rest of the layout continued with a compact yet still unusual experience. First, an airtime hill with a steep ascent and descent, followed by the bent Cuban 8, which was only found on 2 coasters in the world. Essentially a double inversion somewhat similar to a Sidewinder followed by an Immelmann. The remainder of the track consists of short curves close to the ground and bank turns into the final break. This was actually the first time that Maurer had used magnetic brakes in addition to friction brakes. Maurer really were aiming to experiment with this new model of the ride and to learn and provide bigger and better thrills for the future. Drayton Manor said they had chosen the model due to the compact design, an experience not found elsewhere, and the fact it looks great for non-riders to watch. The park only bought the coaster with 1 train, offering capacity of 550 riders per hour, and it was popular enough that they purchased a second the following year. The track was designed using an in-house software tool called X-Track, and was seen as the perfect software to design X-Car coasters in record-breaking time, offering real-time calculation of the dynamics of the attraction and an automated optimization to reduce forces if needed.
G-Force at Drayton Manor.
G-Force, costing £2.5 million, opened on July 25th, 2005 by the band G4, who came second on the first season of X Factor, of course. Everybody remembers them.
Is this the real life?
The ride looked impressive and like a jumbled thrill machine, but how was it to ride? Nestled between Maelstrom and the Black Revolver, it offered maybe the most plain theming in the park, if you can call it theming. The ride relied heavily on its unique lift hill that looked intimidating. It offered a unique sensory experience that no other coaster in the country was close to. The other standout and promoted element is the trains. It wasn't over the shoulder, but it also wasn't a lap bar. The open trains and freedom of the upper body assist the weird nature of the elements, but the lower body section felt very restrictive. It was basically being stapled into the chair around the chest and waist, and many people didn't like the restrictive nature of it. If it was not sat correctly, it could offer a slightly painful experience, and removed any chance of airtime. The other complaint is that the restraints did not lock in place throughout the ride, so while they could not get looser, they for sure could get tighter, and tighter, and tighter. Many riders found themselves sat on the brake run barely being able to breathe. One gimmick, the lift, offered a unique experience, while the other, the restraints, ruined the experience a little. With a layout that was slightly boring after the lift hill, the opening reviews were mostly negative. The issues with the restraints were somewhat fixed over the years. In September 2010, Maurer warned of an issue with X-Car trains around the world, with the coupling bars holding the trains together may not be fatigue endurable, and X-Cars around the world closed for further safety testing. The issue was fixed though, and each reopened.
The air ambulance arriving after being called to one of the country's biggest theme parks. It landed in the grounds of Drayton Manor in Staffordshire, following an incident at around 2:20 this afternoon.
2017 was a tough year for the park, with the tragic death of a young girl who fell from the Splash Canyon ride in May, and G-Force becoming stuck on the lift hill being widely reported in the media. Attendance began to decline. 2018 followed with another tough year that would seal it as G-Force's final season. After 13 years, Drayton announced low ridership and high maintenance costs would result in the removal of the ride. It had closed and not many people even cared. There was a time where Drayton Manor had a promising future and offered something for thrill seekers. Shockwave, Stormforce 10 and Apocalypse marked investments that pushed it to be a short-lived competitor to Alton Towers that could be seriously considered. Today though, it is firmly planted as a family park, with the highlight being Thomasland. The future of Drayton Manor is uncertain. The park took a risk installing a brand new type of roller coaster that ultimately was not very well received, and today it sits within the park, standing but not operating, abandoned, with no signs of its removal anytime soon.
Maurer-Zone is building a new class of roller coaster, the X-Class.
7 other X-Car coasters currently operate around the world, from a launch version at Happy Valley in China to an exact operating clone of G-Force in Iraq at Dream City. The X-Car was a result of a marketing study concerning the future developments in the coaster sector. Based on surveys of fans and park operators, the company came to the conclusion that being able to experience negative forces without over-the-shoulder restraints would be a desirable goal. Designed to offer maximum agility, the highest possible convenience, and exceptional design from the beginning. A unique restraint system built to a high technical standard that Maurer hoped to further improve and install around the world, ranging from family to very thrilling layouts. The variety is almost unlimited with the X-Car. Some of you outside of the UK may not have heard of G-Force, or may not even know Drayton Manor. But our next stop on the expedition will be looking at an X-Car coaster that many of you will have heard of, and that is the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Studios, Florida. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Expedition Theme Park. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to join the expedition. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram for updates on upcoming videos, and a special thank you to our Patreons for supporting the channel. We currently have a sale on our limited release special Halloween Horror Nights t-shirt, so if you're interested in picking one up, check out the link in the description. We will see you next time.
Didn't we